You know, they say the lawyers always come out okay. Here's another example. A federal judge awarded legal fees that will pay out around $750 million to the House settlement plaintiffs' lawyers over the 10-year life of the agreement. Attorney Steve Berman and Jeffrey Kessler served as co-lead counsel for the plaintiffs. Yes, $750 million over a 10-year life of the agreement. Not too shabby. And this is your morning Buzzcast for Monday, July 14th. Good morning. I'm Abe Madkour. Well, Sunday's FIFA Club World Cup final at MetLife Stadium saw Chelsea really dominate Paris Saint-Germain 3-0, and that culminated weeks of the Club World Cup competition across the United States, certainly a test run for the full World Cup next summer. Now, we will have more on the legacy of the Club World Cup in the days ahead. But let's give a quick recap. First, FIFA President Gianni Infantino said the event generated almost $2.1 billion in revenue. That $2 billion figure, that was the goal all along. He said the tournament had more than 20 million viewers around the world. He called it a huge success. And he said if you look at it over the 63 matches, each match averaged $33 million. I don't know how or why he would tout such a figure, but he did. Obviously, this is big about revenue. He also added that no other club competition in the world comes anywhere close to the revenue around the Club World Cup. Sources say that tournament officials have already talked about inviting more teams to the next edition. MLS Commissioner Don Garber was on site on Sunday. He said the Club World Cup was a terrific success. He attended the final and 7 matches overall, and he said the event set out what it intended to do. Launch something new, take some risk, and set the stage for next summer. And so we will see how this all plays out. The event finished with an average attendance of just under 40,000 fans for the 63 matches. They had 81,000 at MetLife on Sunday. So the total announced attendance for the month-long event, nearly 2.5 million people. So attendance increased in the later rounds of the competition. Also, there was a lot of talk and some buzz around this event. Sunday was a who's who of people. If bold-faced names and VIPs were not at the men's Wimbledon final, they were at MetLife Stadium. You had President Trump. You had a few NFL team owners. You had Robert Kraft. You had Woody Johnson. You had diplomats. You had government officials all at MetLife. You had Rupert Murdoch, Tom Brady, Michael Rubin, and many others. So there was a lot of star power Sunday at the Club World Cup final, which is exactly what Gianni Infantino wanted. He has to be feeling good about his vision becoming a reality of the Club World Cup. Like I said, we'll have more on this event over the next few days. So let's move on. New owners of the T-Wolves and the Lynx, Mark Lowry and A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez, they held their first press conference since taking over the teams, and they outlined a number of new initiatives. First, they said they're going to install theater-style lighting at Target Center. That's similar to what the Lakers and the Knicks have in their arenas. The owners believe it will start their ownership off with a different vibe and a different feel. They also announced a partnership with a company they co-own. That's called Jump, and that is a new ticketing app that will be available in the Target Center for T-Wolves and Lynx games. Mark Lowry also said that this is an example of them being leaders, not just followers. They also envision an entertainment district that can surround an arena. They also said they will plan to privately fund a new arena in the future. Mark Lowry used all the buzzwords, saying it's about innovation, being disruptive, not doing things the conventional way. So these two owners are looking to be aggressive and different, so they'll be fun to watch. Mark Lowry talked about the process, saying, quote, "We got beat up pretty good the last 18 months, and it's not something you immediately recover from overnight," end quote. So he's speaking about the process of taking over the team from Glenn Taylor. But these two owners, again, have big ambitions. They have a lot to do. They'll be fun to watch. You know, we've talked a lot on the Buzzcast about the WNBA's upcoming CBA talks, and there were some very interesting comments by Sabrina Ionescu on Friday talking about these upcoming negotiations, saying WNBA players know their worth and are going to fight as long as it takes in these negotiations. She said that players are not interested in just taking the minimum offer. She also added, the league is where it's at because of the players, and they deserve to be compensated for it. Now, negotiations are scheduled to be held in person ahead of the WNBA All-Star Game, and so Ionescu said she was looking forward to sitting down with WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert and talking to her and her leadership group about their vision for an upcoming CBA. But here is what I found interesting. She said that she wished Cathy Engelbert was as accessible to WNBA players as NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is to NBA players. She said that she's had more conversations with Adam Silver over the years than she's had with Cathy Engelbert. May seem minor, but I found that a very interesting point reflecting one player's relationship with the WNBA commissioner. Over the weekend, there was more reports about F1's media talks. Puck.com reported that Apple has offered $150 million per year for rights for Formula One. That is more than the $85 to $90 million that ESPN is currently paying. Business Insider reported Apple's bid is worth at least $150 million a year, and that ESPN isn't going to try to match or top that. So it looks, for now, that Formula One could land with Apple. Meanwhile, a colleague of mine emailed me over the weekend about the new LEGO experience based around Formula One. This is making the rounds across the country. It came to Charlotte this week. So it's called the LEGO Formula One Off-Track Experience, and it includes multiple play zones and a life-size LEGO Formula One Red Bull car, and also there's a race lab where you can customize your own LEGO race car. There's a wind tunnel where you can test your LEGO Formula One race car. So of course it's geared towards children. My colleague tried to go on Saturday because his son likes Legos, but the line was 2 hours long. The staff there estimated that 17,000 people were there Friday. They were expecting 20,000 people on Saturday. It was a very diverse crowd, but you had a number of F1 fans who just wanted to feel part of F1. So he came away thinking it was a very smart partnership, not just for LEGO, but for Formula One, especially as F1 attempts to make more inroads in the United States. If you see this LEGO Formula One off-track experience in your marketplace, let me know what you think. But it's obviously drawing quite a bit of fans. We will have a lot of baseball this week with the All-Star Game on Tuesday, so let's take a look at MLB's top-selling jersey player list, and I can tell you, it's dominated by two teams, the Dodgers and the Mets. 7 of the top 20 players come from those two teams. Shohei Ohtani, he remains in the number 1 spot where he's been since 2023. So here are the top 10 most popular MLB player jerseys so far this year. Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Rafael Devers, Jose Altuve, Fernando Tatis, and Bryce Harper. Those are the top 10. We have the full top 20 on sportsbusinessjournal.com. And our job of the week, it was listed in SBJ on Friday. The ACC looking for a chief marketing officer based in Charlotte, responsible for leading the vision and execution of the ACC brand and national identity and national presence. A pretty good job at the ACC as it looks for a chief marketing officer. And so that is your Morning Buzzcast for Monday, July 14th. I'm Abe Madkour. Thanks for listening. Stay healthy. Be good to each other. I'll speak to you tomorrow.